So, welcome to my life. This is going to be about the beginning all the way till now and how I became who I am today. Growth, um, being who I was in the past compared to who I am today. Bunch of emotions, so it's going to be personal, when it comes to things like happiness, joy, but also depression, anxiety, and sadness. There are great things that happen in my life, and there are some others that aren't as good. That's with everybody's life, though. We all share emotion. We all are human at the end of the day, and we all breathe the same air. So I have changed in a great way over time, I feel like, and I am the best I have ever felt or been in my entire life. I feel like today is amazing compared to who I used to be. The person I am today versus the person back then, not the same person. And I gradually over time became better, and I can talk through the steps. I can talk through what helped me, and this is about my life. I'm not going to be getting into specifics on certain things because why name drop either people or specific past events or situations that don't need to be brought up anymore. The past is the past, but I am not afraid to share my life story to you guys because I love you guys all. You guys are the reason why I am doing this, because you guys support me. You guys always show love and respect to what I do, and it makes me happy because I am trying to show happiness to others. And if I can bring happiness to others, that makes me happy. My job is to bring health and happiness upon people, but at the same time, let them realize that they are who they are because we all are on this earth for a reason and for a purpose. And that is to be the best we can be each and every day. So my thing is that helping others become their better self through exercise, through nutrition, through just feeling great because we are on this earth and we have freedom. And to love is something that everybody wants to feel. To love and to get love back is something that everybody on this earth should have within their life. And there's no reason to step back from that and get into a dark hole because you are afraid that you are not worth it, because you are worth it, trust me. And God will always have you back, and through prayer and through belief and through love and through happiness, anything can happen. With family and friends who also support you, and a lot can be done through that. So I'm telling you right now, there's been crazy moments in my life, and there's been some ones that were like, okay, that's a huge step towards greatness or towards another step where I went down the wrong path for a while, and then I bounced back. So I'll take you guys back to when I was really, really young. So I was a very active kid. I played a bunch of sports. I tried different ones. I tried wrestling and soccer, and those two just were not for me. They just were not for me. It wasn't because I wasn't good at it. I wasn't good at it, but I'm saying if I even was, I feel like those two sports are something that I was never into. Like, I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to be putting on soccer to watch right now or to be watching wrestling or something, I mean, I watched the WWE, the fake wrestling, when I was young, but and it's not, remember, a sport is a sport. Being active is my whole thing, I want you guys to stay active, so that's very important to me. But I just feel like those two I just didn't get a certain feel towards it, I didn't get a feel towards it, and I just never really got into it. So because of that, I branched off and did basketball mostly. I love basketball. Basketball is my favorite sport. I played it throughout my life, and I love it, and I still play to this day. I love basketball, and I'll always play. It's very fun, and you could play with, pick up with your buddies, and you could play not even in a league. If you're not in a men's league, you can always play in the yard with your friends and stuff. So it's awesome. It's fun, and it's a good social aspect of it too. You can talk to your friends and talk about life itself too. So that's good. The other thing is baseball. I played baseball a lot, and that was all the way up till high school. Then it was becoming the high school team, and I wasn't good enough to be on like the high school team and stuff. I don't know how my high school team was when it comes to sports. They're good. They were good at certain sports, but when it comes to baseball specifically, I'm not sure how it was. I could have tried out, I guess. I didn't even try out, but basketball I played, baseball I played, football I played up until, I'm trying to think. I played up until middle school. I played when I was really young on the little kids league, whatever they call that. I was playing in that, and that was fun too. That was fun. I like playing football, but it's more fun to watch than play. I played a lot in the yard with friends and stuff, but I didn't really play like on teams a lot. But that's definitely a fun sport to watch for sure. But yeah, I was staying active as a kid. I never got into lifting weights, exercise, and health yet. I just never got into that at that point yet in my life. And after that, I believe that at 16 years old, that's when I first started lifting. I started lifting at 16, and I was a twig. I was a twig, honestly. I was really, really skinny. And, at first, like, I think everybody that joins the gym, I'm looking at all these big dudes, and I'm like, wow, I am never going to, in my head, I'm thinking I'm never going to get to that spot. Because if I get to that spot one day, I'll be really excited, but that's going to be real tough. And I always thought in my mind, like, it's something that I can't do. But what happens is over time, if you stay consistent and you keep on working hard at it, you can get the job done. It's that simple. But at first, I didn't think so. I thought it was like, nothing about that is going to happen. There's no way I'm going to get that size, that big, that type of physique. And I was really skinny, and of course the first couple of weeks you're really sore, you got to get used to the weights. I didn't know how it was going to feel, but wow, I was like stiff. I felt sore. I remember I was trying to play pool with some friends, some billiards, and my arms couldn't move. I'll be honest with you, my arms could not move because that, doing biceps and doing everything felt sore. But when you first do that, your forearms and your buys, I'm telling you right now, that was crazy. It was like this. And every time I went like this, it hurt. Like right here and right here, real bad. But it's a good soreness. That means that, your muscles were being used, and it's good. You just need to break over that. I feel like the first 2 weeks you're really sore, like real sore, and then after that you stay consistent and you don't have to feel that soreness again. Once in a while you will, because of how hard you go at the gym, and that's awesome. That's a good sign that you had a killer workout. But that's what happened. I got into it when I was 16 years old, and ever since then, I've been lifting. I had a couple of stops around the way where I kind of stopped here and there because of certain issues. But other than that, I kept on going for it. And we'll get to it later, but there was a point where I was like, I was mentally there to the point where I'm never gonna leave this. I'm going for it, and I'm gonna lift till the day I die. I'm serious. Like, I am literally gonna go every single week to the gym, whether it be how many days. I've been doing 5 lately, but 5 or 6 days per week, every single week. There's not going to be a full week. I mean, I do realize that taking a full week off each year is very beneficial and healthy, and it's good for your body to relax and rest. But at this stage where I'm at, a good 2 full days of rest is good enough for me. I can bounce back real quick still. So my recovery is fine. So what I'm trying to say is that stay on the grind. Stay on the grind and just do not give up. So where I'm at next with my story, I grew up with the sports. I grew up with loving movies. I love movies. To this day, I will watch any type of movie. It doesn't matter what it is, and I'll put that grade on that piece of paper. I love movies. Movies, I was a big movie guy. Music, I love music. Won't have to get into specifics, but I like hip hop, rap, and R&B. Those are my favorites. Some branch out a little bit, and it's some rock mixed with rap. That's a good combo right there. But I grew up listening to it constantly in the car with family or friends, just hearing it. And I like the aggression that it brings, and I like the beats, and it gets me going at the gym. It makes me want to lift heavy, and I feel great while that hip hop is booming in my head while I'm picking up weights, and it feels good. It feels good, and that's the workout music that I love, and I've always been into it, So even before the workouts, I loved rap and hip hop. I didn't realize that it just comes in handy now. It's like a bonus. It's perfect that when you work out too, and it just goes great. It's a great combo. It's an excellent combination together. So that's good with that. And then when it comes to, and I played a lot of video games when I was younger, tons of video games, to the point where I feel like it was just not healthy. I would care a lot about schoolwork, and I would do a lot of classwork, stay in class. I would listen, I would do the work, but I'm telling you right now, I would go home. I would legit do the work real quick. I would go, all right, I'm going to do the work, and I'm going to do it right. I'm going to do it right. But I'm going to do this, and I'm going to play video games till I have to go to sleep. And that's what I did. Pretty much all through middle school and high school. Where I kind of quit video games was actually, and I wouldn't say officially quit, because if friends have like the systems or something, and I'm over their house, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it for sure. Nothing against video games. I have nothing against video games, movies, or music at all. Zero. Because that's for our entertainment. And when it comes to entertainment, if you do not want to get involved with certain things that are like either violent or just disrespectful or just not good for our brains and not healthy to look at all the time, or they promote bad, violent things, or whatever it is that it may be within the music or the movies or the video games. You have parents you have parents forever, but once you turn 18, you become a legal adult. And once you are 18 years old and you can make your own decisions, you have the choice to go get those video games and play them, or watch that movie, or listen to that music. And you have to make your decisions based off of what you've learned those 18 years of life. I get you're still young, you're a teenager, but you have to learn the difference between right and wrong. And if you see something wrong with something and you don't want to do it, then don't do it. But if it's for our entertainment, no one's going to say, everything that happens in a movie, or anything that you listen to in the music, or anything you see in a video game Go do that in real life. It's all fake. CGI when it comes to video games. Fake. Scripted. Movies, scripted. All fake. Written down. It's all act. It's all fake. And music, I'm not saying all music is fake. Some of it is real storytelling that actually involves real life situations and actually happened. But 80% to 85% of that stuff that they say is not real. It's just, it's part of music, and that's how it's always been. Not just rap and hip hop. Every single genre. It's written for the audience, for fans, and it's for our entertainment. So what I'm trying to say is that I'm all for the video games, I'm all for the movies, and I'm all for the music. Don't be against it just because I grew up with that. And that actually shaped a little bit of who I am today. I'll be honest with you, it did. Because if I like those three things, and I grew up with those three. So if I never grew up with those, then I just wouldn't even know what they were today, and it just wouldn't be involved in my life or in my head at all. I wouldn't even be speaking about it right now. But because I am, it was part of my life. So I'm all for it. So just make the right decisions. If it's not for you, it's not for you. If you feel like it's not right, then don't listen to that song, and don't watch that movie, and don't play that video game. You know, it's up to you. But so that was that, and I played a lot of video games. That was probably not good for my head. You know, it was not probably healthy for my brain. I played a lot, but I stopped after high school. I stopped. I was bouncing around from job to job. I was just concentrated hanging out with friends on the weekends, and I was hanging out with family, and I was sticking with the workouts. I just stopped doing it. You know, there's nothing against it, but I stopped doing it. Movies are always a thing, you know, always going to movies on the weekends, or watching movies if they were on TV, or learning movies when you were young. You know, you don't even know what's a good movie or what's not. So you just ask your family, your friends, like, oh, is this good or whatever? It's just fun. I like it. It's entertaining, and it was part of my childhood. So those were big parts of my childhood. Don't really get, you know, we're not going to go into specifics, but girls, of course, you know, girls. They were a big part of my life, you know. But when it comes to females, when it comes to girls, I do feel like they do motivate you to do things without them saying anything or doing anything. If you see a pretty girl and you're like, oh man, I want to start talking to her. I want to get to know her a little bit more. I want to go take her out on a date, and I want to, you know, I want to get to know her better. I want to talk to her, and I think she's beautiful, and I want to know more about her life. And if you want to do that, you got to succeed at other things that are outside of whatever she's doing. So what I mean by that is, you know, when I was in high school, I was working out, but not at the intensity as after high school. I feel like after high school, I was working out more. But if I saw hot girls at the gym, and we're all human here. We're all men. That's what we see a hot girl. We're like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? That's just, hey, that happens. We're guys here. We see a girl and they're looking good, and they're hot in the gym or outside the gym. Let's talk about in the gym first. Obviously you want to, you know, do your own workouts and stuff and just focus on yourself, you know, but you could see, you know, look at, she's hot. It kind of motivates you to actually work out even harder. It does. And say girls outside of the gym, if I see, a hot girl from my town, right? And I'm like, oh man, I want to get to know her better. I'll start working out harder, thinking about her in my mind, saying, all right, I'm going to talk to her in a couple of weeks after I, you know, get on track here. Working out, getting some money for yourself, and actually taking care of yourself. And that all comes back to the nutrition too. Imagine that. It's all like a full circle here. If you want to be a healthy, good-looking, best person of yourself, you have to actually eat good too, because that all affects your being, your well-being, your health, your body, the way you feel energized during the day, and how your mind thinks. Your mind is controlled through how you feel, and how you feel is through the food and the fuel and what we get through the nutrients, the vitamins and the minerals through each and every day. It's just so important, I'm telling you. So that made me want to eat healthier, made me want to work out harder. They motivated me to go get a job and work, and imagine that, and without even saying anything, just sitting there looking good. So if you're a pretty looking, I don't like to use the word hot. I feel like that's a little, I do say that too. I say hot sometimes, but I just feel like that's a little too like kind of like, I wouldn't say raunchy. It's not raunchy, but like, I don't know. I feel like the word pretty and beautiful, better. It's better. But if I say hot a couple times, don't get mad at me. I mean, I do say that too, but pretty and beautiful, I think that's the way to go with them. But they motivate you. They do. They motivate us guys to become a better man. They do. They do. So yeah, girls throughout my younger teenage years, they and I had a good amount of girlfriends. Never really kept one too long. I think a year and a half was the longest, but things happen. Well, I get into details here, but I just gotta say is that I love them all, and they were girlfriends for a reason. They were there. They had your back at the time, and they did things with you. You had fun with them, and it was a good enjoyment during those moments. And no grudges against any of my exes. I love all my exes. I'd say I was only in love with one of them, but out of all the ex-girlfriends, I do love them all. You know, they were all nice to me. They were all great, and they were all part of my life. I can't hate anybody that was in my life. I don't hate anybody. But I was only in love with one of them, and she was amazing. But things happen, and guess what? It's 2025, and I have moved on, and things have changed, and I am now in Florida, and I'm living my best life. But here's the thing, right? Girls will motivate you. Music will pump you up at the gym. Things like that. Those two specifically. I'm trying to think of a couple of other things. Well, you know, other bodybuilders or people that you are inspired by on the internet. If you watch their content, they might pump you up and motivate you to go lift and work out as well, or eat healthier because you see that they're eating healthy. All these things are healthy and good things, but you find what motivates you the most, and you stick to that. Because if you get off track and it escapes you, you will probably go down the wrong path, and you don't want to stay in that wrong path. You want to keep going down the good path. So that's what I say about that. But that was my childhood and stuff. I'd say, when I was a teenager. So yeah, when I was a teenager going into early 20s, I started getting a lot of anxiety and depression. I feel like the anxiety was worse, but the depression came along with the anxiety, because I just felt like I wasn't worth it. And at the time, it was sucky. It sucked. I was seeing therapists and stuff, taking medications. Nothing was working. Some things were, but then I fell off a little bit. And I'm like, medications is not going to solve the problem. And it sucked. You know, it was so bad to the point where, like, I wouldn't go to certain things or events. Like, I wouldn't go to church, or I wouldn't go to sporting events, because I felt like everybody was staring at me. And I would start profusely sweating out of my pores everywhere. And my hands were all sweaty and gross. And I feel like everybody's staring at me. And this is, by the way, this is before the tattoos and the piercings, all right? This is before that, all right? I just felt like everybody was staring at me every time I'd go up to get communion, or if I was at a sport event and I was walking down, like, say you're at a basketball game or a football game and everybody's like in the stands, right? I felt like everybody in those stands was staring at me. And they would look at me and judge me and be like, and this is all in my head, by the way. This is all in my head. I would think that they're all thinking, oh my God, look at that kid. Wow. Skinny, scrawny. Oh man, that kid definitely has no friends. That kid? Wow. Dude, what a phony. What an idiot. Look at his hair. Why does his hair look like that? Look at his face. He's ugly. Wow. That's what I thought that people were talking about or thinking or whispering to each other about me. And that's all in my head. They weren't doing that. They were not doing that. And then comes the sadness and the depression of me not thinking I'm worth it. Thinking I'm worthless. And looking in the mirror every day and thinking, wow, I'm not good enough for anything. At a certain point, I had no job. I had no girl. I had family and friends, but not too many friends. I had family that always loved me, but I got in my head. I got in my own head to the point where 2.5 months, 2 full months and then a half, 2.5 months of me staying in the house and not getting out, of me being afraid of society. Going outside would be the scariest thing. I felt like I couldn't even walk outside. I think I walked outside to get the mail, but I didn't shower, I didn't shave, I smelled bad, I was eating bad, I was getting fat. That's when I was gaining up to about 250 pounds. I wasn't working out anymore. I shut my phone off so no one outside could talk to me. And shit was real. It was getting crazy. I was really thinking like, wow, this is not good at all. This is bad. I don't know what I'm doing. This is not good. And of course, family always has your back. So every single day they had my back. The close friends that I know to this day are still the best friends that I could ever have and wish for. The ones that were constantly messaging my family because I didn't have a phone. Saying, oh my gosh, how's Sean doing? How's he doing? Is he okay? Those are the true friends right there. The ones that were thinking about me outside while I was inside cooped up. My choice, by the way. I'm choosing to stay inside my room in the darkness and shut all the blinds down and not do anything besides think of negative thoughts, Got to a point where I was thinking of, I was literally in my head. So deep, dark, depressive thoughts. We don't have to get into the specifics, but I think you know where I'm going with this. And it was really that dark. It got to that point. And I totally chucked. I was not even using the medications anymore. I was not even using the medications. What I think the anxiety and depression, before I get to the point where me is getting out and breaking out of that whole situation, before I go back to that, I want to bounce a little bit backwards and say that I think that a lot to do with me getting into that spot in the first place from the anxiety and depression aspects is that I think a lot to do. Well, so first off, sorry, I'm trying to kind of, because still to this day, I know my own body, but sometimes it kind of escapes me. What I mean by that is I know what happened because it actually happened to me, but I am also speaking out to others that feel like this because I want to let you guys know that I broke out of this element. But what brought me to that, in that space, that negative dark hole for a while, what caused that? So for me, and everybody's different, so I'm only speaking on me. I cannot speak on other people because everybody's body, they feel different, but I want to let you know that I got out of it. And I'll tell you the positives in a second because we're in a negative spot of the story right now. But the thing is that I think a lot to do with, I got bullied when I was younger. Because I was a skinny little kid who had no confidence, and I was always nervous about everything. I wanted to get the best grades or get the hottest girl in school, or I said hot, prettiest girl in school, or do the best I can do and be good at it when it comes to talking to people, like being good, like socially, and not being awkward outside of your home. And that backtracked because a couple of times I'd lose friends along the way, or I didn't have a girlfriend, or I wasn't working, or I didn't have a car for the longest time because I was afraid to drive. I was anxious and nervous to drive. And I didn't know, I was not nervous to be in someone else's car driving. I was nervous to drive. I didn't know the first thing to do of it. I was afraid that I was getting into an accident, or I was just too nervous. I'd have a panic attack. I couldn't do it. So the thing about that is, I think socially, I wasn't the best. I didn't have a lot of friends. That made me feel a little bad. It felt me a little bit worthless. I didn't have a lot of really good social skills yet. I had to do that on my own. I had to figure it out because I was not that good at it. And of course, people help you talk when you're a kid, goo goo gaga at first, and then all of a sudden you're making sentences up. But I just felt like I just wasn't the best at it, and I could never speak in front of classes. I'd be pouring sweat, and I'd be nervous, and I'd have to run to the bathroom in school. But yeah, I didn't have a lot of friends. The girls thing when I was in high school, it was a little bit after high school where everything started falling into place when it comes to the girlfriends and stuff. But in high school, I couldn't get any girl. I wasn't working. I was too nervous to get a job because I feel like, I'm working for somebody who's telling me what to do, and I don't want to mess up. I'm nervous. I'm scared. So everybody's driving to school every day. Everybody's got their license, and I don't have one. So it's like, wow, this just sucks. I can't do anything. And everybody's going to parties every weekend, and by the way, I'm kind of glad I didn't go because I'm not a party guy anyways. But they invited me to all these things, and I even skipped prom when I was in high school. I did. And yeah, it was just not good. I think that has a lot to do with it. I think the foods, I ate like shit every day, really bad foods that probably had tons of toxic shit in it. Like I was just eating candy, eating every single day at lunch. All I had was like mozzarella sticks and a chocolate chip cookie, like every day at lunch. Dude, what the hell is that? Mozzarella sticks and a chocolate chip cookie? Dude, if you put that in front of my face right now, get that shit out of here, dude. I would never eat that right now in front of my face. But now, since I know and I learned, and you learn a lot over the course of the years, I know not to eat that. So toxic, bad, ultra-processed shit. Fried foods, cheesy, nah. And then the cookies and the, nah. But that was every day in high school. And I also, let me try to think here. A little bit there. Yeah. So I'm just trying to think of the time. So from 8th grade all the way to 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. And then a couple years after high school. All right, I think I can't believe I'm saying this. This is really bad. I don't know how. I might be off by a year. So I might be off by a year. So I'm going to actually say this number instead of the other number I was about to say. 6 years straight. I know for a fact there's at least 6. I don't think the 7th actually happened. That's when I probably stopped doing them and I was easing off it. A monster. Energy drink. it was either a Monster energy drink or another energy drink, but it was mainly Monster Energy. There was other ones that were called Amp or Rockstar. Of course, there's Red Bull. There's other energy drinks too. There's like the workout ones, C4 and Bang and stuff. But no, what I'm specifically talking about was from 8th grade all the way till about like a couple years after I graduated as well. Every single day I'd have an energy drink, and that would be most likely Monster. It was Monster most of the time, and it was the original too. It was just the one with the green marking and the M, and the looks like a cool Velociraptor scratched it. It's cool looking, but that stuff's just not good for you. It's not good for you. It's not healthy, and it definitely changed my mood and my feelings, and it changed my brain and my thoughts. And a lot of these foods that have extra shit and bullshit in them will change your mood and will make you feel a certain type of way. My brain was all over the place at certain times, and it made me probably feel even more anxious and made me feel even more depressed. Because once you crash and you're not taking it and you stop taking it, it makes you feel even worse. I feel like that's around the same time, actually, like near when I actually stopped taking them. So that had a lot to do with it too. But I stopped and I'm off that, and I don't do energy drinks anymore. After that, I was doing a little bit of like C4 energy and Bang energy. That's like the workout ones where like they have like citrulline malate, creatine, beta alanine, and other stuff in there. But makes you like itchy, and it makes your heart race while you're lifting. Your heart's already racing when you're lifting. You're making it 10 times worse. No, so no, that was, I stopped doing that, and I was glad. I was like, wow, like, thank God. The friends I hung out with, I had a good group of friends, and then I've had moments in life where I was hanging out with kids that I probably should not have. I love them all, though. I love them all. There's no disrespect here. I'm just saying that when it comes to the wrong crowds, you got to be smart about it. You don't want to be caught up in it, and you don't want to get in trouble, or you just got to be smart on your decision making when you are a teenager. So I'm speaking on the teenagers right here, the young adults, the teenagers of the world. Be smart who you hang out with, and if it doesn't feel right, or you just feel like you shouldn't be part of that group, don't associate yourself with them. I mean, it's just that simple, I mean, you have a mind of your own, right? So, but yeah, that's what I'm saying about that. You got to make the right decisions based off who you hang out with. And thankfully, I never got into extreme criminal bad activities and stuff like that. I never got into the only troubles that I've gotten into was at home when I was really young, If I by accidentally swore or something and I'd be grounded for a week or something, and your phone's taken away or something like that, or probably didn't even have a phone at that point. So you're grounded and you can't even watch TV. Just sit in your room. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember that. I do remember that when I was younger, I'd get in trouble, but that was just like stupid things, like getting in little mini fights here and there, and in the street that I grew up on, and little small things that happened in like school or whatever, and I'd get in trouble and the teachers would get mad at me or stuff like that. But I never got into bad trouble ever outside of that. What I mean by that is like, if it nothing to do with like either family grounding me or a teacher getting mad at me or something, I never got into like the police involved and stuff. Like I never got into any of that. So, which I'm thankful for. And I never, because I'll not be hanging out with groups that would bring me to that. I would never hang out with people who would bring me down or would possibly bring me into a jail sentence. I was never involved in any of that. So all I'm saying is that stay with the right crowds and learn from right from wrong. If you feel even a little bit off about something, just don't do it. Okay? That's what I'm saying. So And so that was throughout my high school. Oh, back to what we were talking about. Wow, I'm ranting. The part where I'm in my room and I'm thinking I'm worthless and I'm up to 250 and I'm not working out and I feel like shit and I look like shit, okay? At this point, I'm pretty much getting worse every day. And one night, and it just took one night, I just kept on thinking. And that's all I had was me and my brain, because I have nothing else. I shut my phone off. I am not talking to anybody outside of the house. So when this happened, I thought, I got to change my life. I got to change my life, and I know that I am worth it, and I know I can go out and do something about it in this world. And that's when something clicked in my head. Something clicked in my head and said, you have to be better. You got to be better, and you got to want it. You got to want it. And I just, what happened really was not myself telling me to be better. It was more of me actually having a vision of me in the future of being the best person I can be, whatever it is. It wasn't like, the entrepreneur that I am, or the fitness instructor, or the motivator when it comes to anxiety, depression issues. It's not, I didn't know I was going to land with those three elements all combined to one. I didn't know I was going to be this right here, but I did know that I am worth it and I could be something. And because of that, I saw a vision of that. I got out of it and I said, screw it. I'm going to start lifting in the basement, drop some LBs. I'm going to start eating healthy at the house, shave, shower, look a little bit better. Once I did that, I started going to the gym, the local gym, so I could start seeing people again. Socializing got better. Confidence grew with that. Started hanging out with my friends again, the true loving friends that always had my back. Family, started seeing family members that I haven't seen in a little bit because I was shutting everybody out for a while. And everything started falling into place. Everything positive now. So, because of that, I became worth something. Just from my own thoughts and my own feelings. It was me who did it. And did I have help? Of course. I prayed a lot. I think God had a lot to do with me getting out of that element. I also think that family and friends helped me a lot through that element. But loving yourself is huge, okay? Loving yourself and knowing who you are deep down. That is how you break out of something like that. So I suffered from really bad anxiety and depression to the point where it was really, really, really bad. And my thoughts weren't even on the past of things that weren't happening. What I mean by that is, because remember, there was nothing for me to stress about too much. I mean, yeah, I had no girlfriend at the time, or there was, I didn't have a lot of friends, but remember, I'm breathing air. I'm alive. I'm eating food. I can walk. I can touch. I can feel. I can love. I can do things. Why am I being shut in? Why am I shutting myself in and not showing my true self and my true worth to anybody? Why am I doing that to myself? I never got into any legal trouble. I never got into trouble with the cops or by the way, I back the police fully, by the way. I love the police. You guys do your work and do your job, and the reason why there's no chaos in this world is because of you guys, so seriously. But I never got in trouble with legal issues, with the police, with anything to do with that. I never did anything criminal bad in my life. Because I knew at a young age even, and I know I was hanging out with wrong crowds at a certain point in my life, but I never got so deep to the point where it got worse for me. I got out early. I could have been in something and it was awful. I could have been hanging out with people and the wrong people and doing the wrong things, and it could have led to bad things. And I could have got into trouble. And then I would be stressing even worse. And maybe I wouldn't be where I am today if that was the case. Because then I'd be in situations like probation, and I'd be like, stressed out and even worse. And that wouldn't help the anxiety. And if you land in prison, or that will be emotionally just drain you. Awful, and it'll drain me, and I'm not even involved in that. I'm not even into that situation. So even thinking about it scared me. So I didn't want to get into that. So because of that, I stayed away from the bad. So it was my mind, and I'm strong-minded, and because of that, it helped. So, but yeah, there was no reason for me to stress out because I wasn't involved in that stuff. I was never doing anything bad. I mean, I know it just all comes back to the, getting into bad situations. I never really got into bad situations. I did have a temper when I was younger. I did get angry a little bit too easy. I was very competitive. So when it comes to like sports, or when it comes to like anything that I lose at or something, I get pissed off. And sometimes I get angry easily if someone says something to me and it's disrespectful. Of course, if it's something nice, I'm going to be like, oh, hey, hi, and say something nice back. I mean, that's the respectful way to do it. But if someone like disrespected me and it was no reason for it, no cause at all for that, like there's no reason for why you just disrespect me like that out of the blue, then yeah, I get pissed. And I had a lot of anger back in the day. But that also, it comes back to the foods and the situations that I was in life. As a kid, you don't get a lot of sleep either. That doesn't help. My sleeping schedule is all off because of whether the jobs that I'm in or school. You got to get up early every day, and then use your brain throughout the day. It's a lot. And then you just got 2 days to rest your brain, and then back to the numbers and the calculations and the whatever you're learning in school. But yes, I'm just saying that happened in my life, and I just want to let you guys know that I am different today. I still am learning, and I still gotta be better about certain things. I do feel like I still swear sometimes. I think that swearing is just unnecessary. Just because I listen to swears in music or movies or video games doesn't mean that you should swear in person. Swearing is just unnecessary. It's not real vocabulary, and it should be out of our daily dictionary of our vocabulary of every day. It should be out. It shouldn't be involved. See, it's already making me not talk right because swearing just isn't real words. So those are unnecessary. I know that words are words. So I'm not saying that it's like if somebody called me a certain name, it's going to offend me or something, or I call somebody a certain name and then they are offended or whatever it is. It's words. Words are words, and sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Same goes with that, I mean, when I was younger and, I got bullied and stuff, certain names and words did hurt me. But as I grew older, not one, see what I mean? Like, once you realize, it's like, no. You can call me anything you want, it won't bother me. Nothing will bother me anymore. It's just the confidence has grown a lot. So, but what I mean by that is calling names, right? So like if someone called me a name or a cuss word or something, which is unnecessary, that's why I got to take it out of my vocabulary. But if someone called me a name, I won't get offended because what you just called me is something that has nothing to do with my life. Like whatever you just called me, you call me because you're angry or mad about your life. So you're trying to bring me down with you. And it's just not going to happen that way. And if which I would never do, but if I call somebody a certain name and they did get offended, it's the same. It's not on the same thing. I'm saying it's bad. You should never call somebody a name because names are still mean and hurtful. But it shouldn't be something to the point where you stress over it and get anxiety and depression over. Like what I'm trying to say is that the bullying shouldn't even be involved into my going into the anxiety and depression. But I think a little bit did, but it was because of my brain. It just wasn't right yet. I just wasn't confident about myself. I didn't love who I was, and that had a lot to do with it. So what I'm trying to say is cuss words shouldn't be in our vocabulary. I got to work on that, and I got to stop swearing. Calling people names, I never do, and I never will. And if someone calls me a name, I'm not offended, but you shouldn't be using those words either, because why are you calling me a name, and why would you call me that? Like, why? But words are words at the end of the day, but we shouldn't use certain words, and cuss words shouldn't be used, and all of them just shouldn't be used. Just shouldn't. But it happens sometimes. People say stub the toe, and this next thing you know is cussing. But we are all human. We all breathe the same air. Everybody should love everybody. And I broke out of that. And when I broke out of that anxiety and depression, I've always loved tattoos and I've always loved piercings when I saw it on other people. And I said, that's something that I want to do because I love it. And I'm not afraid anymore of hiding in what I love. Because for a while I was hiding in what I love too. I was always nervous to show who my true self was. So I would hide that. And because of that, I drew back, and I never did it. I was just didn't know what it would look like on me. I don't know how I'd feel about it or whatever, but got my first tattoo, and next thing you know, see you later. Tattoos everywhere, but I love tattoos, and I got piercings. I got a nose one right here. I had my cartilage one, but that stuff was doing some keloid action, so I took that out, and I got piercings on both earlobes. But yeah, I like piercings. I like tattoos, and I like working out, and it makes me feel good. And that was a huge confidence booster when I got out and broke out of my anxiety ridden room, filled with depression and negative thoughts. And when I broke out of that, I was feeling better about myself, and I loved who I am. So, but to be a better person today, now let's talk about, so that is pretty much who I became. And when it comes to the lifting aspect, I was lifting all the way up until, the anxiety and depression situation happened. And then when I broke out of that, I started lifting and I started seeing results, and I started having a strong mentality. When I put in that hip hop and rap music in my ears, I start lifting crazy, doing good, and killer workouts at the gym. And then I come back and I eat these foods that are fueling my body. This beautiful meal in front of me that has a bunch of nutritional benefits to it. If it's got nutritional benefits and it's got vitamins and minerals that'll help your body and fuel your body and make you feel good and alive and bring happiness to yourself, why not do it? So that's what I started doing, and I've been on that track since that day, nonstop grind. And I'm not saying it was just me. I feel like a lot of people, family members and friends, have helped me work out through the years as well. But the learning process was me. I learned things from them. I took things from certain people, put it all together, mushed it, did a lot of research online, figuring things out when it comes to health, when it comes to foods, and how we feel as human beings, and what is causing us to change our moods and how we look, and how to avoid going to the hospital or feeling sick, is to avoid certain foods and certain elements that you don't want to put yourself into in certain situations. But I started lifting more, and I started gaining a little bit more muscle, and the routine became stronger every day, and I loved it, and I felt good about it. So because it releases endorphins, and I feel good, and putting my testosterone to the test. You see what I did there? Testosterone to the test. I never took steroids in my life, by the way. I did take creatine when I was younger, but gets you bloated and stuff, so I'm not all about that. And I did some pre-workouts, but that stuff made me feel like shit. Like literally to the point where I was like shaking all the time. My head hurt. A couple times I felt like I was having a heart attack. It was bad. I felt like I was having a panic attack and I was going to die. It made me have weird thoughts too, like weird dreams and stuff. Bad. So these pre-workouts have a bunch of chemicals and toxic bullshit in them that you want to avoid at all costs. So yeah, that's another thing that I don't do anymore. And I've never taken a steroid in my life, and I never will. Because natural is the best way, you know? I don't even take creatine. They say that that's a very researched, FDA-approved supplement that's okay because everybody has creatine already in their body, but why bring up levels higher? Even if it's okay, why bring it higher? Get it through the natural sources like food. I don't need a powder to do that. So I don't believe in any powders anymore. And I do believe that there are certain protein shakes out there, protein mixes that are healthy, but most of them now aren't. There was a new article that came out recently, 46% of them, because they are man-made and processed in a factory, that they have a lot of toxic shit in them still, because they're just not full-on whey. There is some that is full-on whey protein. It tastes like crap, but it's full-on, like it's whey. That's it. But it's still powder, and I want to get all my nutrients through drinks and foods, and that's it. That's it. Benefits through that. And when it comes to lifting, I could talk for hours about that, but when it comes to gaining size and stuff, for me, I always felt like, you know, going through a bulk stage and eating a little bit more during the weeks, in the months, and then lifting heavier as you eat more in the bulking stage, lifting heavier too, so put that to good use. And then you cut back on everything when you in the cut phase. I never had really a maintenance phase, I'll be honest with you. I never really did. I always did the bulk and cut. I mean, right now, I'd say I'm in like, I'm not really in a phase right now, but throughout my teenage years and throughout my younger adult years, I was like, still a young adult technically, but I would constantly do bulk, eat a lot more calories, lift heavier, and then cut, do pyramid sets, higher reps, lower weight, but still weight that you could feel and feels good and feel the burn. But lower calorie intake, and the foods would be different too. But that's helped me the most. And whatever exercise it is, and calisthenics are a thing that has been new to me. I wouldn't say new to me. I've done calisthenics my whole life, but new to the point where like I'm developing it into my routines where I'm doing that more often now. And I love it. It feels so good, and I feel like it's amazing for the body. And it's been like maybe the last 2 years where I really care about the calisthenics workout combined with the strength training and the lifting heavy at the gym. When I say lift heavy, I mean, I'm not like bodybuilding lifting heavy. I'm heavy as I can do. I test myself and I challenge myself. That's always good to push yourself. But yeah, we all share emotion. We all should love one another, and no one should call anybody names. No one should bully anybody. No one should be disrespectful to anybody. All cuss words should be cut out, especially for me. That's something that's bad that I should never do. And another thing that people should really cut out of their lives, and it's bad because, you know, it's the internet. And the internet, you can look up anything on there, and it's bad. But dirty websites should be not even involved in your life. It will just it's just a negative thing, and it will bring you down, and you should not be looking up that stuff, those dirty websites. You know what I'm saying. And you feel better without it. If you are doing the dirty with the dirty websites and you feel like crap after, it's almost like eating a wicked cheesy cheeseburger and then like really bad greasy foods, fried foods, and then you're like, oh, after, like, you feel so sick and so bad and like feel drained and tired. That's what that does to you. It does. And it's just, I'm telling you right now, so you could find people out there that say that it's healthy for you, but then also at the same time that semen retention is actually even more beneficial to you, especially when it comes to your health. And you could see actually more muscle growth and more strength because your testosterone rises because of the fact that you're on the semen retention. I'm just being honest with you guys. I'm being straight up in this video. But I love everybody. And I just want to let you guys know that don't bully people in this world. Be respectful. And be friendly with every single person that you can be friendly with. We're all on this earth for a reason. We all have purpose. And I do believe that God loves every single person on this earth. And what you choose of it and what you do with your life, it's your choice. And you have to decide from right from wrong. And you have to know the difference between right and wrong. And I think that if you are a bad person today, you could change to become a good person tomorrow. You can. And I think that it will only stop the hate that's in this world, the violence, any sort of negativity, whether it be bringing other people down, being hurtful to yourself or others, people that are disrespectful, people that are violent. I think I just said violent again. I said it twice. People that are racist, people that are angry at the world or being disrespectful, just everything that's bad in the world. There's no need for. Love everybody, you know? I love every single person out there. I don't have a hateful bone in my body. If you are gay or you are black or you are Asian or you are anything, that you are anything out there, anything. We are all born on this earth and we should all love one another. There's no reason to call other people names. There's no reason to disrespect anybody's race or gender. And there's no reason to. There's no reason to at all. So if someone, when I was younger, because I say a girl could lift heavier than me at the gym and they started calling me a pansy because I couldn't lift as strong as a girl. Because this girl is just really strong. What do you want to do about it? But she's lifted. And someone calls me a girl because I am not showing manly, strength at the gym. That when I was younger would bother me because I'm a kid and my mind's still developing. But as today, if someone did that and some girl's lifting heavier than me, I'd go up to that girl and say, good job. Like, wow, you're strong. That's awesome. See how things change? But back then I'd be like, wow, I'd be upset. Like, why is the girl stronger than me? Everybody's calling me a baby. What? What? Bro, do you. Do the best you can. But just because another gender is stronger than you doesn't mean that you should be upset about it. Congratulate the person. Be good, Boys and girls can lift. If a girl is stronger than a man at a certain thing or whatever, or ever say everything, whatever, why be upset about it? Be happy for that person that they're lifting stronger, heavier than you. Good for them. I don't see anything wrong with, when we're younger, we don't see it like that. We don't see it like that, and we just get angry over stupid things, and it just brings us down, and that's no good. I think that the best way is to all rise up together and work hard at whatever we're doing in life. So, like I said before, whatever you're doing in life, always live your life to the fullest. And that was my life. That is my teenage years up until today. How I became an entrepreneur, a motivator, and a fitness instructor. And I do believe that the grind is nonstop until death. I think that I'm going to keep on grinding every day, and it makes me happy to help others and to make people feel good and to love others and be loved. I do think that the best way to go about every single day, sorry, I'm just trying to think of something, is I have a story. I have a story. A little kid once, I was driving my car, and a little kid once was riding his bike. And that little kid, even though he was on a bike, and he most likely probably knew that he could not outrun the car, he tried to race me. And I was just going 20, 25, just normal speed, very low. Kid was pedaling as fast as he could. He's like, I'm going to beat this car. I'm going to beat this car. That's how we should be about life. If something is levels ahead of you, or something is way better than you at a certain time in your life, you can get to a certain point in life if you grind hard, even if you actually literally can't get to that point. What I mean by that is that bike is never going to beat that car in a race, ever. But if in your mind you think you can, and you pedal hard, and you go strong and fast, and your mind is saying, I am going to beat that car, you are going to get all sorts of results, all sorts of progress. And everything is going to change in a positive way after that. So that's what I got to say. And then, I moved from one city to the next. After that, next thing you know, I am changing my attitude towards things, and everything changed. Everything changed in a good way. And I love the weather here, and everything feels great. And changing states and breathing in the atmosphere of a whole new state is just amazing. It feels great, and it welcomes you, and I appreciate the love and support of everybody, because I am getting so much support right now from my social media, and you guys are always having my back and always supporting me. So I love you guys all, and I appreciate the support and the love. So I'm going to keep on grinding. I'm going to keep doing the challenge modes. I'm going to keep on doing motivated videos for you guys, and that is pretty much my life. I didn't want to get into specifics, but that was like my teenage years. I got into a lot involved with, and then after that, I broke out of it. And then I got more confidence, and then it became, kids started noticing me at the gym, and they got me excited when they come up to me and say, "Hey, you look good," or whatever. You inspire me. I want to be like you one day. That struck a chord in me, and I ever since then I wanted to become a fitness trainer to help others. And it makes me feel good. So I'm going to help others when it comes to health and happiness till the day I die. I want to bring upon happiness and health to anybody that I can in this world. And of course, when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to exercise, when it comes to feelings, and when it comes to outside adventures, and whatever you're doing in life, whatever makes you happy. If your hobby is to go to a painting event, you like to look at paintings and stuff, then do it. Whatever it is. But I love everybody, and I have a bunch of followers. Literally, doesn't matter what skin color you are, doesn't matter who you love, and doesn't matter what you do every day as your job. Whatever it is, you do what you can to be the best you. And you guys are all supporting me. I have followers like I just said from different ethnicities to different genders to different. There's only two. There's only two, but still, I fit a lot of girls and a lot of guys, mixed variety. There's no ratio there. There's no like, oh, There's like way more guys followers than girls. It's just a mix. It's a mix for me. But when it comes to age groups, yeah, there's a different wide range of that. But I get comments constantly, and I get love from you guys, and you guys make me feel good. You know, I have nothing to hide. I could talk about this video and actually talk about specifics if I wanted to, but I just feel like some outside people, when I speak on names or speak on certain things, like they won't really appreciate it. I didn't want to ask like 1,000 people, not 1,000, but a lot. I didn't want to ask a bunch of people if they could be in the video. I could have, but because I didn't want to name drop in this video at all, so I didn't. And I just wanted to not be too specific. So when I say certain things, you guys kind of catch my drift, but I was never specific in anything. All you guys got to know is that I love everybody. And we got to stop things in this world that are bringing us down. And that starts with the food for sure. And then the hate is second. And then those two are huge. The food and people who hate on others. And then the ones that don't think that they're worth it, because you are worth it. And not only are you bringing yourself down, which is sad, but you're bringing others down too, the ones that really care and love you. So, but I love everybody. Doesn't matter who you are. I love you. And that's just my video. It's all about love. It's all about appreciation. It's all about moving forward and realizing that life is greater than you actually think it is. And if I can help anybody that has anxiety or depression or dealing with something or doesn't think that they're worth it, that makes me feel good, because I have gotten comments before saying that I've helped them through tough times, and that makes me feel good. And I did shed a tear on that because I was in that situation before. And if I'm helping somebody or actually potentially saving their life because they were in such a deep, dark hole that I touched upon their soul to the point where they are out of it now. And I've gotten comments in actually big paragraphs and messages online from this, that I'm helping them. And if I can do that to anybody, then I feel great. I feel great because the ones that I've already helped, I love you guys, but you guys have to still help yourself every day. I'm not always there for you, and I'm not always there, giving you the advice every single day. What I can give you is my advice and my story and what happened to me and what helped me. And if it helped you and you got out of it, a bad situation, I'm very happy to hear that. But at the same time, you got to keep moving forward. In order not to go back to that dark place, you got to keep on moving forward. And what helped you and what is positive in today's world and what you are happy with and what's going on, you got to keep on doing it, because you broke out of it too. So if your confidence is high now, whatever's bringing you that confidence each and every day, let it keep on bringing. So I'm happy. I'm happy right now. I've helped people motivating when it comes to anxiety and depression. I've helped people when it comes to fitness, when it comes to health and nutrition, building upon my own success when it comes to being an entrepreneur, making business moves and creating my own Junie Kinetics, my own fitness programs, and my own slogan, stay active, get kinetic, just stay moving and be happy and love everybody. And everybody in the world should get along, whether you're black, you're white, you're Asian, you're Mexican, you're anything, you're any ethnicity, you're anything. We're all human. We all share emotion. Skin color should not divide. We should not be divided because of skin color. So love everybody. And everybody has hearts and brains, and we all have eyes and noses and mouths. We all are on God's earth, and we all should love each other. So that's what I'm trying to say. And I got to stop cussing. I know I swear sometimes, and I got to stop that. But I'm growing each and every week, each and every day, I like to say, each and every day. I say week because every week I go to church, but every day I get stronger as well in the mind and in the soul, is praying to God and loving God and knowing that God has your back. And we are all on God's green earth to be the best person that we can be. And whoever you are, don't, whether, I'm trying to end any sort of hate in the world, and, there's no reason for anybody in this world to be racist or to be sexist, dividing people from skin color or their gender, or everybody lift each other up, no matter what, who you love out there too. I'm telling you right now that that's how the world's going to become a better place over time. And yeah, I have my own thoughts, and I have religion in my life, and I do politically believe in a certain situations that are going on in the world. And I don't want to get into politics or religion too much, because why? I mean, you guys know I do believe in God. I do believe in Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. And politically, I am on one side more than the other. But why is there even two sides? Why can't we all just be one? Why can't we all just be one side? I know that one side disagrees with the other, but I never got that. It doesn't make sense to me. Even though I do agree with one side politically way more than the other, it just doesn't make sense that we can't just all come together one day. I know it's tough because the things that they disagree on are so far different that it's just aggravating, because they're just so far different. And I just wish that it wasn't that way, but it is. But I love everybody, and I wasn't into any type of specifics in this video, but the reason why is because there's no reason to name drop. And that's my life, that's my life, me talking about it. And I didn't really leave anything really out. I mean, I could have been talking even more about things, but it's unnecessary. This is me, and this is it shaped who I am today. And I think that this 1 hour and 20-minute video, whatever, is important to get across. So, but yeah, that's what I got to say in today's video. Let's stay active and get kinetic.